The second that the internet starts writing a messy narrative about you, you have two choices. You can crash out trying to defend yourself, or you can adopt the Olandria Mindset and refuse to give them a reaction they didn't pay for. Today, let's talk about how to hold on to exactly who you are when the pressure to change or blend in gets way too heavy, and how to finally give yourself permission to stop carrying the weight of situations that were never yours to fix. Welcome back to the Muse Manual, where we are the muses of our own lives. We're reverse engineering what it actually looks like to have absolute control over your own narrative and total emotional independence. Let's be completely real about how we manage our day-to-day lives and handle the friction that comes up when we're trying to level up. We all go through those chaotic seasons where everything just feels like it's spinning completely out of alignment. Think about the ultimate level of chaos going from a regular corporate 9-to-5, handling supply chains and logistics, straight to a massive global TV screen with millions of people judging your every move overnight. When the noise gets that loud, the default human reaction for most people is to completely crash out. They start oversharing on their stories, clapping back at every comment, and looking for external validation just to defend themselves. But this mindset requires you to stand completely on business. You permanently drop the emotional complaints and focus entirely on execution. You stop handing out free reactions to people who didn't pay for them. True poise isn't just a random personality trait. It's a high-level business decision. Olandria explicitly talked about how she learned early on to stay poised because she always realized she had way more to lose than the people she was getting into it with. When you recognize that your piece and your brand are literal assets, reacting emotionally becomes way too expensive. When a crisis hits your personal life, whether your communication is piling up or your professional goals feel stagnant, you can't internalize the noise. Instead, you analyze it. Look at the data, see where the breakdown happened, assess what you have left to work with, and pivot. You stop being a passive observer, and you become the active architect of your reality. Now let's talk about true composure and what actually happens to your presence when you walk into a room. Look at how Olandria transitioned from reality TV straight into serious high fashion power moves, signing with top modeling agencies, walking runway shows, and stepping onto major red carpets. She frames her style philosophy around one rule. You see confidence, you wear it. She doesn't just chase cheap, fleeting internet trends. She and her team select bold, monochromatic power colors that literally anchor her own nervous system. That elevated visual representation functions as real-world armor. It signals to the outside world and to your own body that you are completely untouched by the confusion around you. But the real magic of this composure is the silent flex, staying completely low-key and keeping your cards close to your chest. In a world full of chronic yappers, true sovereignty means choosing to stop letting everyone know what your next move is. Olandria made a deliberate choice to pull back from the constant influencer oversharing cycle because she values her privacy and wants the focus to stay on her actual work. You sit back, you observe, you design your projects entirely in private, and you let your execution do the talking. To counter the chaos of the outside world, you have to build a clear, invisible boundary between the public noise and your inner focus. Olandria keeps a strict routine behind the scenes to stay grounded. Heavy gym and Pilates sessions, intentional journaling, and keeping a tight circle of day one friends. That's her boundary. Your baseline might be a specific 3-second pause you take before answering a high-pressure question or a deliberate morning routine before you check your notifications. That boundary signals to your mind that it is time to perform, not to react emotionally. When everyone else is losing their focus, your stillness becomes a stabilizing force. It forces others to slow down and calibrate to your pace rather than you chasing theirs. This next part is a crucial concept to master, and it's usually the hardest one to actually do. It's the art of knowing exactly when to step away from the table. True power isn't found in your ability to endure a toxic environment or to be too selfless for people who don't appreciate it. It's found in your willingness to completely detach from things that no longer yield a return on your investment. There's a fundamental law of strategic leverage you need to memorize. If you cannot influence the outcome, you must stop funding the process. Look closely at your current routine today and pinpoint the exact area where you are overfunctioning. Are there moments where you are providing all of the emotional heavy lifting just to keep a friendship or a relationship on life support? Or is there a professional setting where you are taking on multiple roles without proper compensation or respect? Apply a strict boundary immediately. The second a situation requires you to sacrifice your self-respect to keep it operating, that situation is no longer a sound investment of your time. You are not responsible for rehabilitating situations or people that refuse to improve. Reclaim your currency, step back, and prioritize your own path. True boundaries are simply the quiet, permanent removal of your energy. This is what brings everything together. Adopting this standard is about a permanent transition into absolute control over your own narrative and total emotional independence. The vast majority of people spend their entire lives operating as supporting figures in someone else's plan. They are the secondary character whose main function is to ensure someone else's path runs smoothly. Meanwhile, their own health, their creative projects, and their personal aspirations are left neglected in a corner because they are too busy managing everyone else's lives and goals. Once you step into this mindset, you realize that your only non-negotiable responsibility is to protect your own vision. You are the author and the executive of your own life. If an environment or connection is no longer adding to your personal development, don't sit there trying to reshape your performance to make them comfortable. Instead, you change the environment and adjust the script. Take full control of the pacing of the narrative and refuse to let anyone else dictate your direction. Ultimately, maintaining this high standard isn't about living a flawless life where challenges never happen. It's about knowing that when things do require alignment, you have the intellectual and emotional strategies to handle it with complete composure. It's about refusing to occupy a secondary role in a life you are paying for with your own time and attention. Pick just one concept from this discussion to implement today. Move with intention, stand firm in your choices, and watch how your entire environment adjusts to meet your new standard. Let me know if this hit home for you and subscribe for weekly uploads. Remember to be the muse of your own life. Until next time, bye-bye.